Airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
Is back out for a three. Left wing is good. Deep to right field. At the warning track. See ya.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
At the buzzer.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Huge win for Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Happy Friday, everybody. It's Jordan Brenner here hosting Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network, live in the Country Financial Studios, brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. Going to be a fun show today, previewing a massive Oregon baseball series down in the desert getting going tonight, the first of three. Joey Mack going to join us here in a second. We'll get you a fantastic interview with a couple tennis stars here at the University of Oregon, Charlton, Quin VanDecasteele. They talked with Joey as they prepare for the NCAA doubles tournament, and we'll get you an interview or interviews with a couple track athletes later on in the show. But without further ado, Joey is joining us from the road. There he is, waving hello. Got the microphone, the headset, the whole professional setup. Joey, how's the desert treating you? Looks like you've gotten a little bit of sunshine here so far.
It's 100 degrees. Hi, Jordan. I hope things are going well.
Thank you.
It's actually been a great trip. The Ducks got here and practiced last night. The ballpark plays, as you can imagine, pretty alive during the day, a little bit more fair at night, I would say. So the Ducks, went through practice yesterday. Late game tonight before a really, really hot one on Sunday. So it's a late game on a Friday, late game on a Saturday, and then a big one on Sunday. I think that this is a critical series for a lot of different reasons. Looking at the Pac-12 standings, the Ducks are 13-11. Arizona State is sitting right there at 12-12. So, and it's two teams that, honestly are a little bit of a mirror image of each other. It's kind of an oddity because you look at the lineups and the way that these teams score runs, there's a lot of similarities. Then I go and look at the pitching staff, and both teams aren't quite sure who they're going to pitch on Sunday this week. It's kind of been up and down on the hill for the Ducks and for the Sun Devils both. So the similarities between the two teams, it's actually pretty amazing. It's actually pretty remarkable to look at some of the mirror images of these two squads. And well, I think that's why they're probably right near each other in those Pac-12 standings.
That's right. As we stand today, the Ducks and the Sun Devils separated by just one game in the Pac-12 standings. That speaks to the importance of this series. And looking at Arizona State briefly, guys like Baez and Lampy in that lineup are going really well. Guys like Hall and Malone are going quite well for the Ducks. A couple sluggers in the middle of these orders that could determine this series in some major ways.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I talked with Mark Wasikowski this morning before breakfast, and he said that Baez and Lampy, even though they have different body types and different swings, he says that they are pretty identical when you look at the numbers and the way that you go about attacking them. And so I think that says something about these two squads that they've had also really a top to bottom order. I mean, you look up and down the stat sheet, the batting average is over 300. Pretty similar. The guys that have come off the bench and had some big days, like a Bennett Thompson, for example, Sun Devils have had some of that too. I think that there's a lot of similarities with the offense. And in terms of Oregon, the Wednesday was a big day for this team. You don't want to look back too much, and now it's a Pac-12 series, but I mean, Jordan, it was a big day to see the Ducks get the bats going again on Wednesday after they got just one hit, and it was an infield hit to the shortstop in the 5-6 hole on Tuesday. The offense needed to get going again, and it did. So we can sit here and say, yeah, the Ducks got that going. That's great. But now the question is, do they keep it going in a Pac-12 series? That's the thing tonight is, does this offense look like it did on Wednesday, or does it look like it did on Tuesday? And especially because the bats early in the season were just so good. And what's unfortunate, and I think you would agree, Jordan, I thought that on Tuesday, the pitching was pretty good for the Ducks. In a midweek game, we saw RJ Gordon, we saw Isaac Aon coming out of the bullpen for bullpen days. That's not uncommon when you've got guys that are going on Friday or Saturday, for example, that Tuesday or Wednesday could be their bullpen day. But you notice both of those guys not announced in the weekend rotation. It's Christian Schifatelli who's going to get the ball tonight. Mark Wasikowski said that he's just been the most competitive. He's got electric stuff. Ducks are going to go with Christian Schifatelli starting today. And then they're going to go with Jay Stoffel starting on Saturday. So that means that RJ Gordon and Isaac Aon, we may actually see them this weekend work in ways similar to how they were used on Tuesday, where they went a couple innings. And Mark Wasikowski said that he thought Isaac Aon maybe threw as well as anybody in that game on Tuesday. So it's a little bit of a different strategy.
One got away from him and turned into a long ball, but I'd agree with you. I thought Isaac Aon, that happens when you're challenging hitters. But I did want to focus more on Christian Schifatelli because, Joe, he's turning into a major storyline this season. That's now back-to-back outings where he's thrown more than 40 pitches. So he's kind of building up towards a night like tonight where he gets the ball on a Friday night. And additionally, it's been 6 appearances since he's given up an earned run. He's going as good as anybody for the Ducks, and I'm not sure we can find a more competitive pitcher on this staff than Christian Schifatelli.
Yeah, that's what Mark Wasikowski said, and he really has become a storyline. There's no doubt about that. I think that if he gets hot down the stretch, I had asked Coach Waz like a month ago, like, hey, he's coming off a couple good outings, just can he give you something down the stretch, a little extra weapon? And he's certainly done that, And what's cool with me in terms of the storyline of Christian Schifatelli is the way that he performed early in his career. The potential was there, like you could just see the ball was electric coming out of his hand. Then it was, he's walking some guys and he doesn't necessarily have the control. And so in a bullpen situation, when he's coming out of the pen, you don't want to be walking guys. It seems like when you're a bullpen guy, those walks, the importance of limiting walks, it's just amplified. So what does that mean in the context of his entire career? Well, this year he has done a great job limiting walks. He did issue 4 walks in an outing against Oregon State recently, but didn't allow a run. He worked around that, didn't allow an earned run anyway. And so I think that it's a cool storyline because of control. He knows where it's going, as the guys have said. And then, he is a competitive leader on this team. And even just walking around the hotel today, I got to tell you, he is the leader on the pitching staff. The guys do look up to him because he's been in the program for a while. He's also just an easy guy to root for, right? I mean, Jordan, you and I get a chance to get to know him like that. He's such an easy guy to root for. So he is a great storyline. How many pitches he goes tonight, I'm curious about that. I don't know for sure. You mentioned the pitch totals that I was thinking about heading into this matchup tonight as well. But he went through the lineup one time on Tuesday, and I don't know that it was necessarily because he walked the number 9 hitter that his day was done. I think it was, all right, we're going to have you go once through the order because we want to save you for Friday night. And I don't know how many pitches he's going to go. And I do have a feeling, though, that if he's going good, might see him out there for an extended outing.
Yeah, why not?
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the Ducks are never going to have someone go more than they're ready for. That's how you can get into some hurt arms and that sort of a thing. But yeah, truthfully, it wouldn't surprise me if he has some success, particularly because he seems to get up for the big starts. His best outings his entire career have actually been against Oregon State, traditionally very good hitting team. I have a feeling that this is a big time game in his mind too, because he knows what's at stake. Right. I mean, we all do. The Ducks aren't going to shy away from that they need to win some games here down the stretch for their seeding in not just the NCAA tournament, but now even in thinking about the Pac-12 tournament. Ducks have 6 games left in the Pac-12 slate, and they could still finish as high in place. And well, mathematically, they could even still finish outside the top 8. They got to take care of business.
It's been awfully exciting to see the more consistent version of Christian Schifatelli, Joey. This is a guy who has flashed potential throughout his Oregon career. And by the way, Christian Schifatelli knows what it means to be a Duck more than almost anybody on this team. He's been here for a while now. Last outing of last year, he struck out the side. And then, comes back this year, and all of a sudden he's finding a groove. He's been more consistent. You mentioned Mark Wasikowski and the fact that he kind of saw this coming a few weeks ago. I think that's a good transition to talking about the coaching staff, which made several changes in the lineup in the midweek, and it turned into an outburst and a big win against UC San Diego. It was apparent to me the contrast between experience in the lineup, where you have Tanner Smith, who had 3 hits, starting something like his 150th or 160th consecutive game. And then you have Bennett Thompson there in the lineup as well, also with 3 hits with his first career start, finding out an hour before the game the guy didn't even have time to call his parents. And that's pretty cool that you see that both ways going in the Oregon lineup. And the coaching staff willing to reward experience, but also some newcomers who have been waiting their turn and who have been working hard.
Well, and I asked Mark Wasikowski actually about Bennett Thompson this morning, and he kind of joked like, yeah, he had come up to the coaching staff and said, hey, if you ever need me to pitch, I was pretty good back in the day, like that's just the kind of guy that Bennett Thompson is. And Mark Wasikowski did say that he thinks we're going to see more of Bennett Thompson. That was sort of to borrow a phrase from Coach Horton. I think that performance on Tuesday from Bennett Thompson was kind of a, hey, look at me kind of performance. And, I thought that he did a nice job defensively. That's always what you think about from a catching perspective, right? It's not just what they do in the lineup. It's how they handle the pitching staff. How many strikes do they steal with good receiving on that end? How do they work with an umpire? How do they work with an infield and direct an infield? And, clearly he has impressed the coaches. And you're right, it is a little bit of kind of waiting your turn. Jack Scanlon, Josiah Cromwick have been so steady for the Ducks this year. And then Tanner Smith, God, it was nice to see him get a few balls through the right side. I think that Tanner would tell you he still wants to maybe use a little bit more of the field. I think all 3 of his hits, each one of the 3 came in the first, second, third inning. He was still hitting the balls on the pull side for him. And so it was nice to see some of those go through, that sometimes that's what it takes. It just takes a little bit of that punch through moment for this offense. And I kind of felt like that's what this team needed, but you're right that they needed it from top to bottom. And that's what they had on Wednesday. They're going to have that against Arizona State. I mean, Arizona State's going to score runs, like the Ducks are going to have to score some runs too. This doesn't look to me like an Arizona State team that's going to score 0, 1, 2 runs. You're going to have to score some runs to beat this team. Lampy and Baez, you mentioned those guys, those are all conference kind of hitters. You're not going to keep those guys in check in 3 games. At least I wouldn't bet on that.
Especially
certainly possible, but you wouldn't bet on it.
With how they've been going. I mean, Mark Wasikowski, I think he mentioned this, just looking at those guys' tape recently. I mean, they're spraying it everywhere. Those are some really good hitters. So when the ball's in play, I think that makes defense even more important, Joey. And even looking back to that last win, it was a 15-6 win for Oregon. But boy, how easily could that have been 15-10 or 11 had Oregon's defense not played so well. And it seems like every night, I'm turning on SportsCenter, and there's a regular appointment for me to watch the SportsCenter top 10. Josh Kasevich, the most recent inductee into the top 10 with that leaping grab he made in the midweek at shortstop. But this defense is making momentum plays, and it seems like at least last game Oregon's offense was able to feed off of that momentum, and I thought that was a real key in that ball game.
Well, actually, Colby Shade is the latest to be on SportsCenter because he was on there again.
Was he on there again?
He was number 7 for the robbery.
This is why I need to make it an ongoing appointment. Apparently, I'm not watching it every night.
Well, no, but you said it. I mean, that is kind of the way that it's been. And, to your point, I thought that Colby Shade robbing that home run in the first inning in Wednesday's game, it did kind of set the tone a little bit. And then that relay from Shade to Kasevich to Thompson, also a tremendous defensive play. And then the Ducks got the floodgates opened offensively in the bottom of that second inning. After that relay, it does all feed into it, right? That's what we talk about with the momentum of a baseball game. The dugout feels it, it's certainly a thing. And I do think that those guys have been really, really good. Now, that being said, we did see a shift, right? Where Nowitzki was back in at third base. Gavin Grant's been really good turning the double play with Josh Kasevich all year. We've talked about how the Ducks were for much of the year top 5 in double plays per game. Now they're outside of the top 5 nationally, haven't been turning double plays as much. But Jacob Walsh was struggling offensively, and so the Ducks had some confidence in Brennan Malone to start him at first base. So it's the first time that he has started at first base really in a while, and he's done it twice in the last couple of weeks for the Ducks. That says something, that they have made those adjustments. And Mark Wasikowski talked about it today, and you'll hear it on the Toyota Coaches Corner tonight, that the Ducks aren't going to be afraid to make some of those adjustments. Even though they're coming down the stretch here, the Ducks aren't going to be afraid to make some of those adjustments. It's not just pitching, it's the defense too. And, we saw a guy like Bryce Betcher get a start. I think that Betcher's a guy that the Ducks really think is a good player. It's just that when you have Anthony Hall, who's consistently been hitting home runs, leading the team in home runs, it's tough to find spots in the lineup. But when things go the way that they were going, like they were on Wednesday, I think that the defense really does matter, shade, the relay, and Nowitzki does play a really good third base. It's no slight at Drew Cowley. It's just that Nowitzki's that good, and he's been doing it now for 4 years for the Ducks.
Joey has you covered for the call tonight. 7 o'clock is the game time. Get your pregame started at 6:45. Joey, before we let you go, give the fans a preview of tonight's Dos Equis key to the game. What's one thing you're looking at as being important to getting a win and getting that weekend started off on the right foot?
Well, defense does jump out to me, because especially when the Ducks have come to the state of Arizona, it is a different playing surface. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. This is a different surface than what the Ducks are used to. It's not a turf field, that it does play different. That's why that Thursday practice is so key. So one of the keys to finding a way to be successful defensively, the Ducks already did that last night. So I think that defense is a real key, because that's how you build the confidence in Christian Schifatelli. And that's another key. Keep that confidence high for Christian Schifatelli. I think the way that he pitches is going to be really important, just to set the tone for the entire weekend. Because, look, truthfully, the Ducks have a lot of weapons in the bullpen. Setting the tone on the hill is going to be really important. And then the offense is just going to have to keep doing what they did on Wednesday. I don't know exactly what that Safeway starting lineup is going to look like yet as we sit here talking live in the 1 o'clock hour. We'll know later on as the Ducks set their lineup. But how that lineup plays from top to bottom, because I think sustained offense top to bottom is going to be a real key against an Arizona State team that, again, is going to score some runs. The Ducks are going to need not just one portion of their lineup to score, because do the math, right? If only one portion of your lineup is scoring, maybe you're only scoring runs in the 3rd, 6th, and 9th inning. I don't think that's a formula for success against a team like Arizona State that's going to score some runs. So sustained offense, top to bottom in the batting order, they're going to need to do that, I think. So that's what's on my mind, at least heading into this game tonight. And this is a big one, Jordan. I mean, this is what it's all about. Like, it is meaningful baseball in the month of May. The Ducks are quite literally playing for their postseason life, because it's Oregon State in first place. Stanford's 3 games behind them, but the Ducks are only 2 games behind Stanford for second place. Oregon's 2 games out of second place, and that could mean a lot for the postseason, not just, again, NCAA tournament, but that Pac-12 tournament coming up in a couple weeks. I'll be right back here in the state of Arizona for that.
Yeah, it's a pivotal series. There's no other way around it. And by the way, how good would it look on Oregon's resume to take 2 out of 3 or even 3 out of 3 in the desert? I think that'd be quite impressive. Anyway, he's Joey Mack. He's got the call tonight, the voice of Oregon baseball. Joey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, anytime. Have fun back there. I know a lot of good things in store for everybody, so looking forward to tuning in. Jordan, don't mess it up, buddy.
Yes, sir. That's Joey Mack. We're coming back with more Duck Insider. It's after this here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics, because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat, or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Back here in the Country Financial Studios, it's Duck Insider, brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. Jordan Brenner in for Joey Mack. Joey had the chance to check in with a couple star tennis athletes, a couple all-conference athletes who are getting ready for the doubles national championships. I should correct myself. Joey with a tremendous interview earlier in the week. Here it is.
It's always fun to talk a little bit of men's tennis, especially ahead of postseason, gentlemen. Charlton and Quin VanDecasteele are here. How you guys doing? You guys are going to have to – can you just, fist bump him for me?
Yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate that because, it's not very often that we go three wide in the studio, actually. So we're going to start here because, Josh, you got the comfy chair.
Yeah, I did actually. I was lucky enough to snag it.
And how is it? I mean, how does it compare to the Matt Court chair?
It's good. Not too bad, but seniority takes it. So.
I like that. Hey, so the reason that these guys are here in the studio is we're getting ready for the NCAA doubles championship. But first of all, guys, congratulations just on making it to that point. Josh, I'll start with you seniority-wise, just getting a chance to go play and get to keep competing. What's this mean to you heading into now in a couple weeks?
Yeah, it's big. It's honestly super exciting. Making the postseason, regardless of the event, is always exciting. Keep playing, keep fighting, and it's big. For the program as well. I think it's been 20 years since a doubles team's achieved this. So me and Quinn are happy to be a part of it and happy to go after it and keep playing some good doubles.
Quinn, what about you? I mean, just getting a chance to keep playing.
Yeah, for sure. You get to play longer in the season. Only my second year here, so it's pretty cool to get this opportunity early on, and hopefully can continue it forward.
I want to ask you, Josh, because you guys, like a lot of people, had to adjust during the pandemic. You would have gone in 2020. I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Looking back at the year it could have been is always, it was a little bit disappointing. It was tough to honestly keep finding that motivation throughout the whole COVID period and stuff, just thinking that I could have been there potentially for singles and doubles that year, being ranked inside the top 15 in the country in both. So, but I feel like it's it's good. Obviously last year we missed out as well, but it was the first year me and Quinn were paired together, so just being ranked inside the top 15 in the country, I think we finished was exciting, and it sort of showed our potential as well for what we could do this year, and we've sort of proven that, which has been good.
Quinn, you mentioned we kind of joke about seniority. I mean, but you came in, got paired with this guy.
Yeah.
What kind of a teammate is Josh, and just how do you guys play off each other so well?
No, yeah, he's a great teammate. It was for sure helpful as well. He's played already a lot of big matches by that point. Had great first year and second year and stuff, and played a lot of good doubles. So it was good just to have him. Knowing the ropes a little bit more and then there to back me always. So it was good for me at the beginning of my career here.
You guys touched on being ranked 15th at the end of the season. I mean, you guys went 14-6 in the dual season. So you look back on that. Do you guys have some highlights from the season that you could share? What comes to mind immediately for both of you guys?
I think first thing that was huge for us, starting off this season, we came in the preseason rankings. We came in pretty high, I think 10 in the country or something like this, around that mark. So. We went straight to All-Americans, which was our first tournament of the year in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is probably arguably first or second biggest tournament of the fall season, which is huge, and it sets the tempo for the year as well. But we went there with not so much expectation, first tournament of the year, but we went out there and had a good run. We beat a couple really good pairs, a strong Stanford pair who were ranked top 5 in the country, and then pushed pushed a strong Ohio State team who finished, I think, going into the season, they ranked 2 in the country, and we only lost to them by a couple of points. So I think it was just really encouraging, and that was probably one of our highlights. But then, just keeping that momentum on through the season. I think we're about 8-0 to start off the year, which was big, and just keeping that momentum going was big. And for sure, it's tough. Like when you're playing good tennis, like there's nothing in these matches, and every pair's good. So to have a run like 8-0 is pretty cool. And then, of course, you're gonna have some slumps, but the way we've bounced back this year has been good to see as well, I think.
Are you just going to say, like, Ibid, like that was perfect, what he just said?
Yeah, pretty much. He covered it all.
Quinn, I'm curious for you. I mean, just throughout the course of a season, you guys start out so strong, and you guys are still playing really strong, getting a chance to continue into the NCAA doubles bracket. I mean, what has clicked for you guys over the course of the season? What have you guys gotten better at over the course of the season as a pair?
Yeah, I think it's definitely changed. We started off super strong and super solid, and coming from there, it's easy to build confidence off of that and being able to play well because of it. And then halfway through the season, and a little bit of a slump we had just for a couple matches, and it was good to learn from that, just how to bounce back and what we were doing wrong, getting too aggressive or too overamped because we are playing well, and so knowing when to dial it back a bit or up it. So it was good to have the little bit of a setback to now ramp back into it before the postseason.
Josh, you touched on a little while ago just the fact that this is unique and the fact that it's a really cool piece for the entire program because it's the first time since 2000. It's just the second time ever that a doubles pair has gone to the NCAA bracket from Oregon. For both of you guys, just how cool is that? I mean, just like what's that feeling like heading into it? A chance for a little bit of a program-building legacy type of thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that you can't really, I guess, don't know what the word is, but you can't. It's exciting,
Yeah.
Like it's pumped. Like for us, coming to Oregon and being a Duck, like you don't want to just come and be a part of the program. You want to do special things with the program. You want to leave the program in a better spot than where you found it. So just be able to achieve some of these accomplishments with a good mate as well, a good teammate. It's exciting, and sort of it's just nice to be able to have your name in the record book somewhere as well.
I love it. I have to ask you guys, and I know he's sitting right here. What's Coach Sheelander like as a coach?
He's a great coach, perfect as well for I think me and Josh as well. He knows when to push us harder and get good practices, but he's also very good at having a bit of fun on court and keeping it relaxed and not overbearing, and so it's great having Coach Niels with us.
Coach Sheelander is a fun guy on the tennis court. I never would have thought it. I never would have thought it, fellas. I never would have thought it. Particularly when you're playing a rival like the Huskies.
Yeah. Then it's a little bit more intense that week, maybe. But
Josh and Quinn joining us. Heading into this tournament. Keys to success, you guys. I mean, it's so easy for me to sit here and ask you guys to just sum up keys to success, but fans want to know. I mean, what's it going to take to be successful in this doubles bracket?
It's going to take a lot of belief and backing yourself. You're going to come up against every team's quality. So and it's obviously, I think you can either get you can be daunted by the stage, or you can go out and enjoy it and just back yourself. And I feel like we've earned to be there, and we've got we know our ability, like we've had the results and just believing in ourselves and also doing the prep, like we've had, this is like pretty rare, I think we've had 3-week training block to get ready for this tournament, which is huge, so coach had us out on the track in the pouring rain early in the morning. Cheers for that, coach. But so it's been good, being able to actually invest a lot of time to get our bodies back to 100% after a long season, and then just going out and backing yourself and enjoying the moment and
May 23rd is when the 32-team draw begins for the NCAA doubles. I want to ask you guys now beyond the tournament. So talk about a lasting impact. Quinn, you're going to leave a lasting impact on the locker room. So those of you that have not seen this, Quinn is quite the artist. The mural that is on the wall in the Oregon locker room. Quinn, tell us about this, because you put a lot of work into this, you and your brother.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it started off just knowing the locker room is being redone. I've kind of had the idea to do it, and so talked to the coaches about it, and they were all game for it. Showed them some designs of what I was thinking, and they loved it. And so just one weekend we had off before season really got going. I was like, might as well commit now rather than pushing it back when it's going to get busier. So spent a good 35 hours that weekend, just painting this, and my brother helped out, and it was a cool project to be able to put in the locker room. That'll be there for some time.
Yeah, well, it's going to be there for a very long time. And now I'm told that where you're standing and where your brother's standing in this image, that there's something else behind there that we should know about.
Yeah, there is. It's not only the duck breaking through the wall, but a bit of a husky, a husky in a cage in the back that the duck has just captured. So it's a nice little tidbit in there.
I love that. I got to say, I was so impressed when you guys unveiled it, because the entire locker room revamp, I think you guys would agree, is great.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. But that's just such a cool piece. So, hey, thanks for doing it on behalf of all the Ducks everywhere. Thanks for doing it. I do want to ask you, too, what's it been like competing with your brother, A, your entire life, and B, now here at practice every day?
For sure, yeah, it's changed a lot throughout the years and stuff. It was good when you were younger. Growing up in Utah, there's not a lot of players, and so practicing with him, it was always amazing. For me, especially because being younger, he was always better when age is more of a big deal. And so, we always competed hard together and worked really well together. And so it's been our whole lives. Now coming to Oregon, dynamics changed a little bit, but it's still amazing to have him there. Always there to back me and support me and stuff. So we're pretty good, but we do like to get pretty competitive at times on the court as well. So yeah.
How competitive are they, Josh?
Oh, insanely competitive. Insane. I'm worried sometimes.
Josh, Charlton, Quin VanDecasteele, guys, thanks for being here.
Appreciate it.
What did we miss? What else should fans know before you guys head out and hopefully bring home a national championship?
Don't know.
Don't got much. Just it's always fun being out at the matches and the matches. So moving on to next year for home matches, it's always a great environment out there and stuff, and always free to come. So it's always a good time playing the matches and stuff with fans there. So
you guys are both gonna be back.
We're both coming back.
Yeah, both coming back.
So that's a top 15 ranked doubles pair that's going to the NCAAs and coming back, ladies and gentlemen, for Oregon men's tennis. Gentlemen, thank you for being here, and good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having us.
Watch out, folks. Those two are going to be a problem next year. Joey said it there at the end. We still got Reid Brown and Lexi Ellis, a couple Oregon track and field student athletes coming up. They'll preview the Pac-12 championships coming up at Hayward Field this weekend. We're coming back. It's the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back here in the Country Financial Studios, Oregon, on the Oregon Sports Network, it's Duck Insider. Lexi Ellis is going to participate in the triple jump this weekend at the Pac-12 Championships at Hayward Field. This interview is from Wednesday, but she went ahead and answered questions to the media, and we have it for you here on Duck Insider.
Lexi, just wanted to start with just like your excitement level for the weekend being back at Pac-12 at Hayward Field.
I'm just really excited to have everything back at Hayward Field, especially Pac-12s being here. It's definitely very special with our new stadium and everything. Just the depth that we have on the women's side is kind of incredible, and I'm really grateful to be able to have Pac-12s at home.
Lexi, how confident are you that you guys can end USC's streak this weekend?
I'm very confident. I'm always going to be confident in my girls, especially this year, like I said, because we have so much depth in all of our events. And it's just really just to see the performances this year. I definitely think that we can end that streak.
Are you somebody who looks at the heat sheets, looks at the start list, looks at the rankings and kind of and tries to map it all out?
I am. I'm definitely, some of my teammates don't like looking because it makes them nervous, but I'm definitely one that's like, okay, who's jumping, who's running, where are we at? Like, I'm very, I look at that stuff a lot.
Have you always been like that?
Yes, always.
How does that help you prepare for the meet?
Doesn't necessarily help me prepare. It just lets me know what we're up against. I'm always going to be confident in what I can do and what my teammates can do. It's just more of like okay, cool. They're going to be, pulling their best too.
So is this meet different from others because people have gone to different meets on different weekends sometimes? Mm-hmm. And is this more of a team spirit? Are you aware of other events in a way that you wouldn't normally be?
Not necessarily. I think me and my other teammates kind of keep up with everybody pretty consistently regardless of where everybody's at, but I think the energy will be a lot different because it's the whole team.
Okay, so looking at the list of entries, who's caught your attention so far?
Honestly, the thing that's caught the most of my attention has been the fact that we're so deep in a lot of the events. It's kind of pretty equal across the board, and I think that's probably been the most significant thing that I've noticed.
Speaking of being deep in events, I feel like you guys are a little bit deep in the triple jump.
Yeah.
It could come down to you and a teammate fighting it out for a title. What's that competition like when you guys are in it together and both doing well?
Just like practice. I am a very competitive person, and I will always, talk smack to Dominique at practice all the time, and it gets her going a lot more than it normally would, in a competition where it's just one of us. So I think it'll definitely pull our best performances for sure.
You've been able to PR this season. What's been working well for you?
Honestly, just staying healthy. I was having some trouble with injuries last year, just, coming back from COVID and everything. And having the full training to really get prepared for this year has been probably the most helpful, just consistency.
What were the injuries? Were they COVID related, like coming back from COVID, or was it more physical?
It was a little bit of both. I haven't had COVID, but because we had so much time off, it was taking some time for my body to get back used to everything. So I was having little knick-knack things here and there that were hindering me from practicing to my full extent sometimes. So the consistency wasn't as consistent.
Anything else for Lexi?
Talk a little bit about your, relationship with Dominique. What are some of those things, if you can remember the specifics, what are some of the things you guys have said to each other during practice?
Whenever we do jump stuff, even running stuff, we're usually partners because we run very similar. I'll get on her because, you know, I'm older and I've been here longer, so I'll be like, oh, you won't jump farther than me. Oh, you're not going to come close. And so that usually will get her fired up, and we'll go back and forth depending on the practice. And then sometimes it's nice just having somebody with you that's at the same caliber, so you can push each other better.
Have you ever seen that, like, I guess, come out in the middle of a meet and then you push her to do better?
Actually, yeah. I think Pac-12's last year was probably the best example of that with me and Dom, just because that was one of the first meets that we both were, like, fairly healthy and both doing pretty well. I think last year was the most consistent she's been. So I think at practice, me pushing her really helped her, and so that's what gave her that push to really do something at Pac-12's last year.
How does it help you to have a teammate in a similar event as you be so close? Does that help you feel more comfortable? How does that feel?
I don't know necessarily comfortable. It's not that it's uncomfortable, but it's more pressure. I have very high expectations, and so I always expect to do the best. Excuse me. I always expect to do the best that I can, and I always want to be the best, so having someone who's literally my teammate on kind of my bumper is definitely pushing me to do better.
Lexi Ellis participating in the triple jump at the Pac-12 championships here at Hayward Field. Pretty cool deal that Oregon gets to host the Pac-12 championships in what is just a gorgeous venue. Get your tickets, get out there and support these student athletes. We have Reid Brown, another track and field star, coming up after the break. A similar interview with the media here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Summer starts here at your local Toyota dealer. Come in for huge savings on great Toyotas, like the adventurous RAV4, the sleek Venza, and the Ruby Highlander. For more information, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Summer starts here at your local Toyota dealer. Come in for huge savings on great Toyotas, like the adventurous RAV4, the sleek Venza, and the Ruby Highlander. For more information, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too. Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too. Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/one small step. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Reid Brown running in the 5,000, the 1,500 this weekend at the Pac-12 championships at Hayward Field. Happy you're back with us in the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. Boy, I say that a lot throughout the show. But Reid Brown, another really good interview. Let's get to him. We're running short on time. We went long early, so we'll get right to him here on Duck Insider.
How excited you are to have Pac-12 back here at Hayward Field. We'll start there and take a few questions. Yeah, no, it's super exciting to have Pac-12s this year here. I think originally it wasn't supposed to be here this year, but we jumped on the opportunity right when we could, just because everyone is super excited to get to show everyone the stadium and just get everyone in the Pac-12 out here for the first time for a good old meet again. So.
Reid, you guys have a long team winning streak at this meet. What's it going to take to turn 14 into 15?
Yeah, pretty much since I've been here, we've never lost, so we're definitely not trying to do that this year, but everyone's just going to have to kind of step up and have a great performance in their respective event. Some people are even going to have to double or try events they haven't tried in a while. It's going to be a pretty close meet this year, but I think everyone's looking forward to taking on all the extra tasks and getting at it this weekend.
Is this something that you guys talk about at all? Is there any pressure that comes with having a streak that's so long?
Yeah, there's always definitely pressure. I mean, the target's on our back. Everyone's trying to take us down. I mean, even teams, like, we hear stuff outside that people want to take us down just because we're Oregon. So, yeah, you always got that pressure to keep the ball rolling, but we've got the momentum right now, having 14 behind us and going after that 15th, and no one here wants to lose, so I think everyone's ready to handle that pressure.
How does it feel to be in the elite of the times in the 1500 of the heroes here of Oregon distance runners? You ever grasped that feeling of what it's like?
Yeah, no, it's been a really good feeling this year. After having the past couple years being behind some of the great athletes like Cooper, Cole, Charlie, watching some other guys like my freshman year, Josh Kerr, like all those guys grow up through the NCAA, like being on top this year, it's a really good feeling, and it's kind of a strange feeling. This is probably the least I've run in a long time, battling some injuries this year, but it's the fastest I've run. I think just coming off the indoor season, having that confidence from some good races and a good finish at NCAAs, it's just helped me through this season, knowing what I can do, and just just got to stay up there and make sure I place well. So.
You 100% now? You're close?
Yeah, close. So.
What about Texas? Just what made you come here? A lot of opportunities, I'm sure, everywhere.
Yeah, just the historic prowess behind Oregon and distance running in general just was a huge draw for me. I looked at a couple other schools, but I honestly probably didn't really consider them that much. I kind of knew if I could any chance get into Oregon, I think I knew I was coming here like right off the bat. So.
The facilities have much of it, or was it just the tradition and the more?
Yeah, the facilities. I love the facilities getting in here. Getting to run in Old Hayward was that's awesome feeling. Like just the crowd out there, the atmosphere was amazing. But I think mainly the team tradition and just like the friends I had coming in, like Cooper coming in with me. I think all that sold me to come here.
Reid, have you been out on the track yet when the big screen's been working?
Yeah, I think I've been out a couple times when they've been testing it. It's a spectacle to behold. It can almost get a little distracting sometimes, which I think is a good thing because we'll be used to it, and other people will just kind of be like in awe of it. It's pretty cool. I can't wait to be in a race and be able to just see everything that's going on around me, and I'm excited for it to get its final reveal.
I think it's gonna be startling at all when somebody comes around the corner and has maybe a life-size version of themselves staring right back at them.
Yeah, I think it definitely will be startling a little bit, and you can also see the whole race behind you. You can see that person probably even bigger coming up behind you. You're like, oh no, I gotta really start moving. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be really cool. I can't wait.
Is there Reid? I mean, is it useful? Do you practice? Can you think about how can I use the screen in this race, especially something long?
Yeah, no, that's something I've utilized throughout my whole career. I love watching the race play on the screen. It's just, say you're in the front, you have no clue usually what's going on behind you or like where people are in the race. And so, say someone that's supposed to win is like towards the back of the pack and you're in the front, you can use that to your advantage. Like, oh, if I go now, it's going to take them a lot more time to catch up, stuff like that. So I kind of use that into my tactics a little bit. I wouldn't say I rely on it, but it's nice to have out there.
And then the flip side is you can get too focused on it, right?
Yeah, definitely. You can almost get too distracted by it if you're not paying attention too much on what's going on around you too. That's not the only thing that's going on in the race is what I saw on the TV. So,
if you had to pick one race in your collegiate career here that was your top highlight, which indoor or outdoor, which would be it?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
Or a couple, maybe.
I would say the indoor DMR championship was my highlight. That was the first time me and Cooper had won a championship together and individually also, and so that was a really cool moment to share that with him. Since we came in with a lot of huge goals on our back, and just finally seeing those come in the picture was super awesome and a great feeling.
How about individually, just a race for yourself?
I honestly think that last race at Oregon Relays, my 1500 was, or the 354 mile indoors. I think that's the first time I kind of actually showed what I was capable of and where I should have been in my college career, and leaving it a little late, but that kind of turned the page for me and allowed me to just start getting a little confidence and running a little quicker.
You mentioned the excitement of showing this place off. What's the team feel maybe here now that we're getting close to the day of race day?
No, the team's a little antsy. They're ready to go. Everyone's kind of settling down. All their big workouts are done. Everyone's getting ready, prepping for their races. No, it's been really awesome. Everyone's in a great mood. Weather's been good the past couple days, so everyone's loving that. And yeah, I think the team's ready.
I was going to change the topic about the weather because it is going to change, but maybe that's an advantage for you who have done a couple meets that have been a little rainy.
Yeah, definitely. Just kind of shows like the fight in the dog. Like we're used to the rain. Some people that might not have rain all year come up here and it's raining and they're just like, oh, it's raining. Like I'm not going to run as well as I usually do, or that just kind of gets in their head that little bit enough to kind of give us an advantage in performance-wise. Like, oh, we've been doing this all year. Like, little rain ain't gonna hurt us. So.
Yeah, last time we talked, you talked about having a movie night on that big screen. Have you guys been able to watch Cars yet on the big screen?
We have not. We were waiting maybe until next weekend because they're waiting to unveil the screen for this race. So we were gonna have to plan it for after the unveiling. But yeah, we're trying to get that set up. So that'd be really cool.
A little bit more about your background. I don't hear any Texas accent on you. Did you grow up in Texas, or was that just the parents? I don't know. Maybe everybody doesn't have a Texas accent.
Yeah, I did grow up in Texas. Pretty much the only accent thing I have is I say y'all. Other than that, I wouldn't say I grew up in like deep Texas. I was in more of like suburbs over in Dallas area. I would say accents more in like Lubbock or like the country area. So yeah, I don't think I got too much accent out of Texas.
Coach Johnson said he was talking about you competing in multiple events. Can you remind us what those were?
Yeah, so I think I'm in maybe I'm in the 15 and maybe the 5K. Usually we just throw that on the end just to see if we can snag some points or kind of use it as a workout. So those would be the two events.
Do you anticipate you're going to go into that 5K needing the points?
Yeah, you kind of just go in expecting like you're going to have to give your full effort. And then once you get to that point, you kind of, that's the last race. Right. So you kind of know by then like what you actually need. So I don't know. Yeah. So,
no, I'm saying, do you think you're going to have, do you think it's going to come down to that?
I don't know. We haven't had Pac-12s like that yet. So it will be interesting to see if something like that does happen this year, if it's a lot closer. So hopefully not, but we'll see.
Good to hear from Reid Brown. Pac-12 championships this weekend. Show up to Hayward Field. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get one final break here on Duck Insider. It's the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom! Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Wrapping up here on the Oregon Sports Network. Thanks for being here with us on a Friday afternoon. Going to be a big weekend of Oregon athletics, Pac-12 championships for track and field. Of course, Oregon baseball starting their series at 7 o'clock tonight with Arizona State. Just a game ahead of the Devils in the Pac-12 standings. And then coming up here shortly, Ryan, Pac-12 softball, or Oregon softball, going to find out their destiny in the postseason. And that'll be a 4 o'clock Pacific time selection show. Kind of weird that Oregon softball didn't get to play this week, but what should fans expect here coming up on Sunday?
Well, I'm going to be on ESPN too for Selection Sunday. I'll have my eyes peeled. I think that Oregon's probably going to be a high
I was thinking are you hosting the thing? Is it going to be you and who else is going to host it on ESPN this week?
Oh, I didn't get the call for that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
A couple years away from that.
Oregon should be a high 2 seed, though.
Okay.
I think that they will end up somewhere facing against one of the latter 1 seeds. I've heard Chicago against Northwestern is a big possibility. Maybe a rematch in Texas and Austin against UT, Mike White's team. That's a big possibility for Oregon. Those are where
a familiar spot for Oregon.
Those are where I want to go. I want to stay as far west for the travel of it all. But they could go pretty much anywhere. I think that Oregon, you're looking at a 2 seed, and hopefully you're looking at a high 2 seed for the Ducks.
Well, the Ducks 5-1 in their last 6 games, starting to turn a corner a little bit. At least you'd hope. Of course, the schedule softened a little bit, but a lot of positives, and I think Stevie Hansen starting to emerge as a real talented young pitcher in the country.
Well, it's been that pitching staff for sure. It's been mechanically Thermos, and it's been Stevie Hansen who really picked it up the last 2 weeks. If they can carry that through Pat and through postseason, they're all right.
Selection Sunday, 4 o'clock, Oregon softball finding out their destiny for the postseason. Oregon baseball, join Joey today, 6:45, the pregame show, 7 o'clock. Is the first pitch. Thanks to Gus back in studio, Ryan, Scott, Joey for joining us earlier. Jordan Brenner saying so long, happy weekend, and go Ducks. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only